Morning, y'all. Federal immigration enforcement in Minneapolis is no longer a narrow policy action. It is widening, hardening, and pulling in people who were never the target. In the Hunger Games, Susan Collins makes one claim with relentless clarity. Once violence is normalized, it does not stay contained, it spreads. The early justification is always limited. A necessary measure, a controlled space, a defined enemy. Then the boundaries fail. That pattern is visible now in Minneapolis. Immigration enforcement begins with arrests. It expands into neighborhood presence. It escalates into crowd control. It draws protests, federal reinforcement, local police, journalists, medics, and bystanders. What was meant to target a population becomes a pressure applied to a city. This is not mission creep by accident, it's structural. In Collins's framework, the arena exists to isolate violence. Once the audience grows and the spectacle takes hold, isolation collapses. The violence must grow to justify itself. Minneapolis shows the same progression. Federal officials describe enforcement action. Residents describe militarized streets. Each side claims restraint. Neither side controls what happens once fear enters the system. Containment fails when force becomes visible. Phones replace pressure release. Videos replace summaries. Each confrontation feeds the next. Crowds gather not to disrupt arrest, but to witness power. Agents respond not only to individuals, but to perception. Control becomes the objective. Just war theory asks whether force is proportional or limited. Those limits are hardest to maintain once violence becomes routine. Pepper spray is used to manage presence, not threat. Weapons appear where warrants once sufficed. Perimeters expand beyond targets. The original purpose blurs. Then, in the Hunger Games, civilians become collateral, not because they are enemies, but because they are present. That same logic emerges when enforcement zones widen and streets become theaters. Supporters argue order requires strength. Critics argue strength has replaced judgment. Both miss the central risk. When violence spreads beyond its initial target, it reshapes behavior across the system. Residents alter routines, businesses close early, protesters escalate tactics. Officers operate under constant stress. Each response feeds the next. No side remains untouched. This is how war logic enters domestic space, not through declaration, through repetition, not through conquest, through normalization. The lesson Collins offers is not metaphorical, it's operational. If force must keep expanding to maintain control, control is already slipping. Minneapolis is no longer debating immigration policy alone. It is confronting what happens when enforcement becomes a spectacle, and spectacle demands escalation. Once that cycle starts, stopping it is harder than starting it. Lo sabes.